So what specific policies or things would you do to create jobs? And I mean, for example, would you rescind the national price on carbon? Would you stop injecting money into infrastructure, as the Liberals have decided to do, as they claim to create jobs in that capacity? Would you reverse those policies, and what would you specifically do yourself?
That is the question. First thing I'll do when I get in power in 2019, it won't be an election, it'll be an exorcism. I'm going to cast aside the malaise of Trudeau. I'm going to reverse all of those policies. I'm going to make sure that we're competitive, not just with North America, with the rest of the globe. I'll eliminate carbon tax completely, and I'll make sure we don't have it in any province. This will become a carbon tax-free country. Here's a point of fact. Many Canadians don't know this. You know, I'm a numbers guy. We spend $12 billion a year buying oil from Saudi Arabia, and we are an oil-rich country, because Trudeau can't figure out how to get a pipeline from where the oil is to where it's needed on the East Coast. Saudi Arabia beats women with a stick. I don't share those values. I'm sure you don't. Why do I want to give them $12 billion when I could leave that money in the Canadian economy?
Let me just quickly ask you, though, you said that, we didn't want to import oil from Saudi Arabia because they beat women with a stick. Should we be selling them lavs then?
That discussion and that file is very complex. We're going to have to look at all of it in the context of what our role in NATO is. No question about it. And look, we have to come up with something that's very comprehensive. Our obligations are written in contract now, and we're not being compliant because we can't afford to spend 2% of GDP because the country's not even growing at 0.7. It's a big problem, not just in Saudi Arabia, everywhere. I'm talking the specifics of why would a country rich in bounty and energy not have energy independence? How is that possible that our eastern refineries have to buy foreign oil and squander all that wealth that could be in the hands of Canadians to a foreign government that has policies where women are beaten? Legalizing
marijuana, where do you stand?
Let me tell you where I feel on these issues. LGBTQI, I have your back 100%. You have the right to be happy in Canada. That's always been the promise of the country. On marijuana, I want to legalize it, regulate it, and make sure it's safe for those people that consume it, including the consumables. Why should there be a criminal element distributing it? I want to tax it like any other good or service the Canadian government regulates.
Would you be worried about what you've heard from Donald Trump so far when it comes to trade?
I'm very worried. I'm very worried on policy because I'm scared that if we don't get immediately in sync with taxation, with carbon taxation, with regulation, we will not get any capital into the industries that really matter in this country. Manufacturing, pipelines, oil and gas. We are so woefully out of sync with what's happening in the United States. And I think, the comparison, Trump versus Trudeau, that's Godzilla versus Bambi. He's going to squash him.